Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a closer look at Sorcerer Supreme. I've been using her in Variant 5, the first two chapters, and I am absolutely falling in love with her. Strands, friend of the channel, has been talking about it for months and showing me videos of all the wonderful things she can do, and it's one thing to see them, it's another thing to actually experience it myself. At least that's how this game works for me. I'm going to show you a couple clips, or a couple photos here from the last fight we're going to show you. Here's the first one. This is 172k health Killmonger in Variant 5. It's not looking so good for us right there. Here's the end of the fight. That's the exact same fight. Only some 80 some odd hits. He's dead. My health has gone up. How is that possible? I'm going to show you how. I hope we've got your attention. Before we get into the fights, I want to remind you to hit like, definitely subscribe so you catch all the action, and share this with anyone you think might be interested. That being said, let's get to the show. First fight we're going to take a look at is from Variant 5, Chapter 1.1. It's a debuff immune Juggernaut with Bane. So we're not going to be using her slow ability, he's debuff immune. So we're going to be taking a look at her ability to nullify and her ability to regenerate on block. As you see, we've triggered the regen on block. And in this fight, I'm going to spend most of my attention trying to make sure that I keep Bane on Juggernaut more than it's on me. And hopefully not on me at all. When you see that regen on block, pay attention to our health bar. You'll see how much damage we're taking through the block, and then our health bar creeps right back up. It's incredible. It's amazing. I've seen videos of it before, but again, I usually see it in, blocking the SP2 from a champion, and it really is impressive, but I've always just thought, how practical is that? Well, here we are. This is debuff immune. How are you going to handle that? You can't put slow on it. So we can even intercept with the SP1, which nullifies the buff, and then now we have the nullification aura. You see how quickly it worked in nullifying his fury, allowing us to just pay attention to the Bane and continue to make sure we're transferring it over to him so it's not on us very much at all. Another nullification with our SP1 to get his unstoppable buff off. If he hits us, the damage we take through the block will get healed back up, and we're even slightly healing because we've stacked the heal. It's small, it's not big. This isn't Wolverine we're talking about, but she comes with so much utility. Look how easily we're handling this fight, which is otherwise relatively difficult. I don't want to overdo the point, but my buddy Strands has been playing her for quite a while. She's a fairly complicated champion, and he's been showing us a lot, and I'm really seeing it. He kind of compared her to a bit of a Void, where you do have to play slow, you really have to know what you're doing. You can't speed through things with her. But she can do so much, and she does it so well, she can control the fight. I mean, look at this. Look at the damage we're taking through the block, and we're just healing it right back up. We're back up to 81% already. This fight's nearly over. We don't have to worry about it hitting our block. It allows us to intercept with the special. So the unstoppable is off. Look at all the hits we've been taking in the block, and we've gone from 81%, and we're ending the fight at 86%. So if you like saving items, and you like winning the fight, that's pretty awesome right there. Now, we're going against Nightcrawler. I don't know about you, but I've had trouble with him lately. And this Nightcrawler is stun immune with unblockable specials. Blockable special is not as big of a deal for me anyway, but stun immune? How am I going to hit this guy? Watch what she's able to do with her slow. We're going to throw it with our SP1, and he's going to evade it, but the slow still applies. Here it comes. He evades. The slow is on him. There's nothing he can do now. We end up being able to force him to switch stances. So after that, it doesn't matter. But that slow is not hard to continue to apply and reapply. Now all we have to do is just evade those specials. He's still unblockable, so there's going to be some some damage to the block hits, which if we've done this correctly, we will heal back up from. And now we can just worry about damage. We're throwing the SP3 in her damage phase, which will apply an armor break. It's pretty good damage for an SP3, right? When you've already applied a slow. And of course, we are baiting his SP1 and evading it well and punishing. But again, because of her abilities, we're at this fight, we're at 98% health, and we're about to finish off this Nightcrawler, which was otherwise a very difficult fight. And she's going to handle it and make it look easy. I'll end up doing another video on her, I'm almost positive, where I'll go more in depth on her abilities and how to utilize them. There's a lot going on under her health bar, and to be honest, that was one of the things that turned me off from her to begin with. But over time, and using her through a quest like this, you really start to understand the timing and how to manipulate it. This last fight we're going to show you is the fight where we showed you the photos from the beginning. This Killmonger is from 1.2, chapter 1.2 in variant 5, and has Oscillate, which is a 300% fury. It's going to hit extremely hard. I'm going to do my best to set us up with her armor break debuff so we don't have to worry about reverberation, which is always a struggle for me against Killmonger. And I am intentionally using the parry method instead of just the step back method so we can get a sense of how well she does heal back from blocked hits and how much she can mitigate damage you take over the course of the fight. I hate this AI. The passiveness with this shield, it kind of reminds me of that AI we had a couple days ago, and then he'll just instantly go into aggressive, which Killmonger usually is anyway. So you see we're taking the block hits, and we are already down to 78%. We're going to be throwing the special now, which will make it so that we have the regen on blocked hits pretty much any time we throw a special. Remember this, we're at 77% health, and he's at 93. You can see we have the regen on blocked hits happening, and we do have a small heal happening over time. It is small. We now are in the Fury attack phase, so if we throw a special, we'll apply an armor break to him, which would be great, so we don't have to worry about reverberation. It also triggers our regen on health, like we talked about. You see our health bar dancing around. We got down to 73. We're all the way back up to 75 now. He's got his armor break applied again. We're up to 78% health. His health bar is going down. Ours is going up. I'm not trying to portray her as a healing champion. Again, this isn't Wolverine we're talking about. But I think you're seeing it for yourself. We're up to 81%. Drops down because of the damage from the block hit, and we healed right back up to 81%. We're at 82 now. It's just amazing. I threw the special, I think, just because I wanted the armor break to land, so we have a slow debuff on him. That probably wasn't the best play, and I'm not a total expert at playing her yet. In fact, I think I'm just scratching the surface with her. If this continues at this rate, I'm going to try to use her more and more in variant. I may end up placing her up there in the very top tier with Doom. I know that sounds ridiculous. Just a week ago, I would have never said that. And yet, I'm seeing it. I think if you're comfortable with the fight, if you're comfortable evading the defender's specials, and you're looking for someone who can go in there and do a bunch of things excellently. I mean, she is a problem solver. Look at this. In just one video, we're seeing her handle a stun immune, unblockable special Nightcrawler, a debuff immune with Bane, Juggernaut, and now an Oscillate with 300% Fury, Killmonger. And she's healed up in all of the fights and just handled them way better than I know I would have ever imagined. I'm still going to hunt Dragon Man. I told you I would do it. I'm hyped for it. We're going to be due for a hunt anyway. And I do think he's going to be great, but I think we might be looking at my next Mystic R3. Friend of the channel, Deuces, commented that he took his R3 and he has no regrets. He said he did it for the damage increase from R2 to R3, and if there's any downside to Sorcerer, I think it's that, but I really don't even think it's a downside. We're going to be seeing her again in a video. Definitely going to do a couple fights where we try to showcase her damage and whatever other utility that I'm able to figure out over the course of this variant in the next few weeks. Let me know if you have some ideas and what you're thinking and if you were impressed by her or not. I hope you either learned something, were entertained, or even better, a little bit of both. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow on Twitter at VegaGaming583. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.